Hi, I'm Bob Jordan, and I'm from the Wisdom Corner, and this is the first video for the members only. And we do it in the form of organic, meaning conversation between two experienced men that are successful in this. I'm a great-grandfather, and Steve is a mature property owner with a great amount of experience in an area in a manner which we can all understand is the most profitable and the most serviceable to the community, the city, the state, the federal government, and our country, referencing real estate, which happens to be anywhere from 17 to 19% of the gross national product of this country, so it's very important. Now, we'll be talking about the largest retirement group in the history of the United States, and that is the baby boomers are retiring at 10,000 people a day average in for the next 17 years, and they're all going to be living longer. Well, for a little history to know what's going on, roughly 7 out of 10, when they retire currently, for whatever reason, have less than $30,000 for their retirement, and of that number, half have no savings at all, and they live on Social Security. So what we'll be talking about are properties that are upgraded, upcoded, fixed up, done properly in low income and lower income areas, taking care of our seniors, which gives you a real good feeling. Don't you agree, Steve?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And satisfaction. Now, I personally have had the pleasure of doing this for over 35 years, and I found out that these are the nicest people in the world as long as you do a few things. And for 7 videos, we're going to be talking about why this is something you should be interested in. Now, as a footnote, I want you to understand I'm going to read a short statement that I think is appropriate here. And that is, only a fool learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Now, Steve and I are a combination of all kinds of experiences, good and bad, and we're only going to pass the perfected good experiences to you, which means you'll be able to do it much better because we didn't have the facility which Steve and I have decided to prepare for young people, because the other population, which is very large, are 17-year-olds all the way to age 36 or 7 now, called millennials, and then there's a large sector of the ex-Jenners who are losing their jobs, it seems, left and right, of high pay. Well, money isn't everything, but it is the second best, and the third best that pays for things like your church, your family, things that you want to do, your savings, and this program will guarantee your income goes up every year, that through your efforts and choices. It will also guarantee that you have a solid retirement. So you're going to be doing 3 things. And Steve will be explaining his current project. So in these 7 videos, you will see how we develop a very solid business between us. Now, I'm going to say an embarrassing factor before Steve starts. Steve started 10 years or more ago on this particular area. He was held off for 3 years at my advice while the current administration did whatever they were doing, and it wasn't safe to do anything until you knew which way the wind was blowing, it seemed. Well, I want young people, both ex-Jenners, and I want especially millennials, to look at you are responsible for what you do, and you thereby should do the right things, and if you do, you gain the results. Now with that, I'm going to ask Steve to tell you about what he's doing currently. Or I am the old Wisdom Corner. He's the guy with the actual on-the-ground knowledge current every year, and he's very, very good at it. His income, 365 days a year, without fail, seems to be about $400 a month currently and growing. His retirement, therefore, is $400 a month, a day. Now, if you take 30 days a month times 400, that's 12,000 currently, and you're still going to continue to grow it.
Yes.
And you have a professional job presently, right, Steve?
Yes.
You've been with them, I'm with 23 years.
Yes.
You're going to admit to being an executive or a manager?
Yes.
That means he's handsomely paid, and you're still doing this. Would you tell me why you decided, and then tell me about your current policy? Because it's amazing you created this little business off to the side while you work 60 to 80 hours a week in your profession. Yet you continue to do this well. It has to do with your team and your ideas and how you work.
Yes.
And that's what the people that are going to be considering this need to know, Steve. But we need to do it in a simple manner that's easy to understand, because then there's no confusion. So with that, I'm going to say, would you tell me what you're doing currently and how you're doing it?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Well, I want to say I started out in real estate maybe well over 10 years ago, and I started primarily when I was still in corporate America. But you know, listening to different some tapes, reading books, I realized that it was important not only to be in corporate America, but also to have additional multiple streams of income.
I like that second one.
Multiple streams of income is very
Steve,
important.
would you tell them why? Because since 23, I've never had a boss,
Correct.
and I'm 75,
Correct.
and you've seen me be able to be happy all those years.
Most certainly.
And you know, I think of other people before I think of myself, and all the years we've known each other, which has got to be more than 15, 16, 17 years.
Definitely.
Good.
Definitely. And again, multiple streams of income, it gives you, it just helps you with your, security, peace of mind. Again, it gives you the ability, flexibility to get back to others, do different things, do kind of what you really want to do in life. So taking that into consideration, again, I started out primarily by reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that kind of got that started. It says, hey, multiple streams of income are important. Your job can be here today, gone tomorrow. So if this was some real estate was something I was interested in, and it serves the purpose of I own the business, and I can take it where I need it to go.
So you feel really proud of that, don't you?
Of course, certainly, over the years.
And all the people you work with, you share that with them?
Yes.
Your most important person happens to be the tenant,
Of course.
the person who rents, and you've decided over the years to deal with the senior generation,
Right.
otherwise known as us old people,
Right.
who happen to be related to everybody else in this country.
Exactly.
And you realize what a big, big population that really is and growing.
Yeah, and they're very steady.
So therefore, you're not worried about where your income's going to come from in the next 17 years, are you?
No.
Now, how many people do you work with in your corporation that have that feeling?
Oh, wow. Not too many.
How many in relation out of 100? Terrible question to ask, isn't it?
Very, very few.
They're all basically worried about where their income is?
Of course.
Okay, I want to ask a question, Steve. Please don't be upset with this. Majority of people you work with, you come to find out they live on their current income or in debt up to their sneakers and living a higher life standard and paid very well to do it.
Yes. Sure.
And you don't have that worry?
I do not.
You do not. And you got it because you're working with real estate, the apartments, and you control it all. And other than you have to conform with the laws of the city or the county, and you have to conform with the laws of the federal government. And that's easy to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. So tell me about your team. You see, let me explain something. Steve and I are different. I'll bet you didn't know that. He's young and handsome, and I'm old. But Steve has more of a management structure, the way he runs it, and I have more of a wild cowboy. But the wild cowboy hired critical team members. So tell me how you did it, Steve.
Yeah. So, starting out in real estate, I had to, realize that it was important. Obviously, you can't do it by yourself. It's important to build a team. So what I started out by doing, obviously, is finding a good contractor that could help me do the work. Because as I grew in confidence,